Good morning, students. Today we will study a new topic, that is active and passive voice. So let us see. A verb is said to be in active voice when the verb shows that the subject is doing some action, or in other words, is the doer of the action. Students, this definition tells you that when in a sentence the subject, that is the doer of the action, is active, means who has done the work is given more importance in active voice. It will be more clear by following examples. Number one, Sham is making dinner. So you can ask a question, who is making dinner? The answer will be given by this subject, Sham. Sham is making dinner. Next example, Saurabh is washing the utensils. Who is washing the utensils? Saurabh. Number three, Krishna writes a letter. Who writes a letter? Krishna. Pritam reads a lot of books on politics. So, who reads a lot of books on politics? Pritam. So, students, in sentences number 1 to 4, the subject is active and this subject is responsible for the action. So, all the sentences from 1 to 4, they are in active voice. Now, let us see definition of passive voice. A verb is in passive voice when it forms, shows that something is being done to the person or thing denoted by the subject. Student, it means that in passive voice, the work done is given more importance rather than the subject. For example, dinner is being made by Sham. So students, dinner is being made. If we read the sentence till made, then also its meaning is clear. By Sham, we can omit. We may not write by Sham, right? So here, action, or you can say the work done, is conveyed. And who has done the work is not conveyed. Means it is not important, right? So earlier in active voice, Sham is making dinner. So passive voice of the same is dinner is made by Sham. The utensils are being washed by Saurabh. Here again, the utensils are being washed. Meaning is clear. No need of this by Saurabh or by Sham. Then a letter is written by Krishna. A letter is written. The action done is clear to us. And the last, a lot of books on politics are read by Pritam. A lot of books on politics are read. This is important. Now, students, as you have seen in above examples, that in active voice, the doer of the action is given importance, and in passive voice, what work is done given importance. So, if it is asked, then that what is the difference between active voice and passive voice? So, answer will be that in active voice, the subject is active and it is given more importance. But in passive voice, the work done is given more importance. Tense are not changed. One thing is very clear. Students, see, Sham is making dinner. This is present continuous, and passive voice of the same is dinner is being made by Sham. This is also present continuous in passive voice. So we never change the tense. Now some points to remember. For changing a sentence of active voice into passive voice, first of all, we should identify the subject in the sentence, the verb, and object. You can see in this example, Ravi rides a horse. Ravi is subject, rides is verb, and a horse is object. So, this sentence is in active voice. Now, we got to change it into passive voice. So what we are going to do, we will interchange the places of subject and object. Means object is made subject and subject is made object, and the verb is always written in third form, and the helping verb will be put according to the tense because it is simple present tense. So here we will use is. So let us see. When active voice is changed into passive, subject is changed into object and vice versa. Vice versa means subject is changed into object and object is changed into subject. And third form of the verb is always used. So a horse is ridden by Ravi. This is the passive voice of the sentence. Ravi rides a horse. Who rides a horse? Ravi. Now, a horse is ridden by Ravi. What work is done? Horse is ridden. Now, students, when we change the pronouns in active voice to passive voice, they are converted into third person. For example, see this list. I is changed into me. For example, I write a letter. So, a letter is written by me. I is changed into me. We is changed into us. He is changed into him. She is changed into her. They is changed into them. You and it. These two remains same. Now there is a table for you. In this table, rules of changing from active to passive are mentioned. Students, before telling you about these rules, you must revise. Means before reading this table of rules, you must revise your tenses table very well. Why? Because if you are able to identify the tense, then only you will be able to apply the rules, right? So we have three tense: present, past and future, and these are three their subtypes: simple, continuous and perfect. Perfect continuous voice we never change, so we have only three. If we are to change present, simple present into passive voice, we should use this formula: subject is MR plus verb third form plus object. For example, he writes a letter. If your sentence is given in this format, means in simple present tense, then you are going to apply this formula and answer will be a letter is written by him. Now, if your sentence in active voice is in simple past, so we will use was were as helping verb and were third form. See, let us see. He wrote a letter. A letter was written by him. Here we are using was if subject is singular and were if subject is plural. Let's move to simple future. In simple future, the formula is subject will or shall plus be plus verb third form plus object. For example, he will write a letter. Students, in your exam, in your test, you will get the sentence in this way, like this: he will write a letter, or he wrote a letter, or he writes a letter. You are to identify the tense. Once you identify the tense, then only you will be able to apply the formula. I have told you this earlier also, right? So a letter will be written by him. Now see, present continuous tense, the formula is subject plus is MR plus being plus verb third form plus object. He is writing a letter. This sentence is present continuous. So by applying this formula, this is changed into a letter is being written by him. Students, one thing is common in both the continuous, we are going to use being, right? So in past continuous, subject plus was were plus being plus verb third form plus object. He was writing a letter. A letter was being written by him. So difference is only of the tense. Earlier I told you in present continuous tense is, and here in past continuous we will use was or were. And for future continuous we have no rule. So no worries. Let's go to present perfect. Now in perfect tense, students, you already know that we use has and have in simple present, sorry, not simple present, present perfect, and had in past perfect, and will have and shall have in future perfect. And one more thing is common. As in continuous, we use ing form here. In perfect tense, we are already given the third form of the verb. So, no worries about it. Let us see. He has written a letter. See the formula. Subject has have plus been plus verb third form plus object. So, by applying this formula, he has written a letter is changed into a letter has been written by him. In past perfect, subject plus had plus been plus verb third form plus object. He had written a letter. This sentence is in active voice and tense is past perfect. So, changing into passive voice, a letter had been written by him. Now, let us move to future perfect. Subject plus will shall plus have plus been plus verb third form plus object. He will have written a letter. This example is in future perfect tense active voice. So by applying this formula, we can change it into future perfect passive voice. A letter will have been written by him. Students, to learn this table in a better way, you should revise and keep all the rules in your mind of the tenses table, first thing. And second thing is that you must know more than 100 forms of the verb. Means forms of the verb you should know how to change, right? Thank you. Have a good day.